Welcome to today's webinar, 10 Tips to Double Your Labeling Efficiency. We're pretty excited about this one. I think this is going to be a really great webinar with a lot of actionable tips in it. So really excited to be able to share this with you today. So I want to quickly introduce today's speaker. We're really delighted and thrilled to have Daria Paczesna with us. She's a linguist at SenseStreet, where she'll explain a little bit more about SenseStreet, what they do, but they have a really interesting business and a really interesting use case for data labeling. Daria is pretty impressive. She holds a degree in applied linguistics, English with Italian, and she also in translation studies. She started at SenseStreet as a data labeler, but has since moved her way up to linguist, where she runs a lot of the data labeling programs there. And yeah, in her current role, she reviews annotated data across multiple tasks. She creates and refines data annotation guidelines, and she organizes training for new data annotators. So she's going to use all of this experience, all of these things that she does at SenseStreet, and share some of the things that she's learned to get some pretty impressive performance out of their annotation program at SenseStreet. So anyway, with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Daria, and let you take it away. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let you pick up.
Okay, so thank you so much, Nate, for that kind introduction. Hi, everybody. So it's generally a pleasure to be here with all of you in this webinar, and I appreciate the opportunity to share some of the strategies we've embraced at SenseStreet to boost the productivity of our amazing team of data annotators. But first, let me give you a brief insight into SenseStreet. So what we do and what we specialize in. So every trade, every transaction, it all starts with a conversation. And we at SenseStreet are dedicated to capturing the precision of these chats, enhancing the clarity and uncovering the true intentions of the counterparties involved. So we are building capital markets LLM since we have access to the proprietary data, but that is very different from anything that other models have seen. Because we partner with global banks to get access to the chat data, we can train our capital market LLM, and that can truly interpret and decipher traders' intention over the course of negotiations. Also, our foundation, it is built on the expertise of a team with diverse backgrounds in trading, in machine learning. So our edge as a company is our deep domain knowledge and access to domain data. So we pride ourselves on our talented teams with operational hubs in the UK and in Poland, Krakow. So our teams are great. They're comprising engineers, data annotators, linguists, data scientists, domain experts. So we work collaboratively to create and annotate data sets that are like set the gold standard in the industry. Okay, so labeling might seem straightforward, but there is an art to doing it efficiently. And as a linguist and also as a data annotator in the past, I have come to appreciate the nuances, the intricacies of human understanding, especially in the realm of labeling. And the depth and precision that human labelers bring are truly unparalleled. And why one might wonder, with the rapid investments in machine learning and AI, why do we even need human annotators? So the answer lies in the quality of data that feeds these models and how it's consumed by these models. So while technology evolves, the human touch, judgment, and understanding, it remains paramount. So it's vital to remember that human labelers are like the backbone of our data accuracy. We often hear about the vast amounts of data needed to train models. However, it's not just the quantity of data, but also quality. And it's the role of our data annotators to ensure that every piece of data is correctly classified. And at the core of a very advanced AI model lies a simple truth that machines, they learn from us. So they learn from the data we provide, and more crucially, from the way we label and interpret that data. So they need guidance, they need direction, context. So a machine intelligence, no matter how advanced, is only as good as the data we feed it. And that's where data annotators, they play this kind of irreplaceable role. And at Sensory, we are really proud of our dedicated team of 12 data annotators and 4 linguists. And humans bring deep domain expertise. So models can analyze vast amounts of data at lightning speed, but they need guidance, like a set of rules, a map. And who better to provide this than human experts with domain knowledge? So annotators guide them to draw meaningful conclusions. And at Sensory, our annotators, when they look at trader chats, they do not just see words, but they see market sentiments, they see trade details. So their expertise ensures that every chat, every phrase, and every nuance is understood and labeled within its appropriate context. So this domain-specific knowledge is really invaluable, especially when building models that are tailored for the specific domain. Also, why automated systems can label vast amounts of data quickly, they often need the precision that human annotators bring. So our team ensures that the data feeding into our models is of the highest quality, leading to more accurate, more reliable AI predictions. And every piece of data they touch is verified, scrutinized, and labeled with an accuracy that stems from experience and also deep understanding of the domain. Beyond the act of labeling, our annotators are constructed a vast and really detailed knowledge base. And this involves understanding dynamics of trading conversations. Here is within transactions, relationships between counterparties. So this knowledge base ensures that our models navigate this complex world of trader chats and transactions, making decisions that are not just data-driven, but they are really deeply insightful. So annotators, they lay down their foundational understanding upon which our models operate. And for us at Sensory, our edge is our proprietary annotated data set. So the data set isn't just large, it's just enriched with quality annotations, conversation that's been hand-labeled, analyzed, verified by our team. So this isn't something you can just replicate, you can just purchase. It's built over time with dedication, also with expertise. But how do we ensure that these labelers, they work at their best efficiency and produce consistent, high-quality annotations? How do we harness the unique human touch and channel it for maximum efficiency? So at Sensory, we have found a formula, and now I would like to share with you some tips. So tip number 1 is to use pre-annotation. So these pre-annotations, they can serve as a foundation upon which human annotators refine, correct, enhance. So this means that annotators, they can immediately see and work with these initial predictions, streamlining the review correction process and allowing them to focus on refining the data rather than starting from scratch. Also, it is powerful for tasks very repetitive and relatively easy because it allows annotators really focus on challenging edge cases. Also, model-generated predictions, they can provide a consistent starting point, so reducing this kind of variability that might arise when multiple human annotators interpret data differently. But of course, we have tasks that allow different interpretations, and it can provide us a more comprehensive representation of the data, and it can be valuable in understanding the tone and intent of the conversation. With some of the groundwork like it is already laid out, annotators, they can process more data in a given time frame, leading to faster project completion. So starting with a base of annotations, it can also reduce the chance of oversight or mislabels, especially in dense or complex data. Tip number 2 is to create annotation guidelines. So now, what are annotation guidelines? How do they contribute to increasing efficiency? So think of them as a user manual. So they offer a clear roadmap to annotators. So with defined instructions, annotators, they can proceed confidently, reducing the time spent on ambiguity or confusion regarding how to label specific data points. Also, in any large-scale project, you will have multiple annotators working on vast amounts of data. So guidelines ensure that every individual understands the criteria in the same way, so ensuring uniformity in the data they label. Also, with clear instructions at hand, annotators, they can work faster. They spend less time second-guessing their choices or seeking clarifications. Of course, there are always edge cases or gray areas in data labeling, and a comprehensive guideline provides solutions for these cases, ensuring that all annotators, they handle them in a consistent manner. Also, as our team is growing and new annotators come on board, guidelines become an essential training tool. So they shorten the learning curve, allowing new members to come up to speed quickly. So it reduces the training time, allowing new team members to become productive much faster. And our guidelines are comprehensive, yet not overwhelming. They are detailed, yet not over-detailed. And also, as data sets evolve, or for example, project requirements change, guidelines can be updated to reflect these shifts. So this dynamic nature ensures that annotators always have the most relevant instructions at their disposal, so maintaining efficiency even in changing scenarios. Tip number 3 is feedback loops. So imagine an annotator encountering a piece of data that doesn't quite fit the guidelines or is ambiguous. So without a system for feedback, they might make a judgment call that while well-intentioned, might not align with the larger goals of the project, and multiply this by hundreds or thousands of annotations. So you have a potential domino effect. And feedback isn't just about correction, it's about growth, evolution, and shared learning. And every piece of input, every suggestion paves the way for better, more efficient work in the future. But how do we at Sensory ensure that this feedback isn't just given, but integrated, learned from, and acted upon? So we have group support chats. So this is for our annotators. Think of this as a community-driven troubleshooting platform. So it's a space where real-time discussions happen, where challenges are shared and solutions are in collaboration forged. So when annotator encounters a nuance they're not sure about, they're not navigating the challenge alone. The collective wisdom of the team is right there, ready to assist, discuss, and guide. And by discussing it openly in a group setting, not only can the issue be addressed promptly, but it also creates an environment of collaborative learning. Also, we have annotation updates channel. So this is a dedicated space where linguists come forth with updates. So when there is a change in how a particular entity should be annotated, or when a new understanding emerges about a term, it gets updated here. And our linguists dive deep, analyze the change, provide clear, actionable insights on how to adapt or our annotation process. So this also ensures that our team, irrespective of when they joined or where they are, they stay updated, aligned, and informed. So in essence, our feedback mechanisms aren't just about maintaining the quality of our annotations, but about streamlining the entire process. And it doesn't end at just collecting feedback. What makes it truly effective is the adaptability it brings. So based on the invaluable insights from our annotators and the performance metrics of our models, we update our guidelines. So this iterative process ensures that our AI models are built on foundation of accurate, high-quality labeled data, making them more effective. So to wrap up, at SenseRead, efficiency isn't just about working faster, it's about working smarter. And tip number 4 is domain-specific training. So as we navigate the intricate world of data annotation, especially in the realm of financial domain, one fact stands out, that is, a strong foundational understanding of the domain is paramount. It's not just about knowing the terms, it's about grasping the significance, the context, and nuances. And this is where domain-specific training becomes an invaluable asset. And our training sessions are designed to give new joiners a robust foundation, ensuring they're not just annotating data, but they're truly understanding it. And with a deep-rooted understanding of the domain, the task of annotation becomes significantly swifter. So annotators no longer need to pause, research, or second guess. So they can move with confidence. They can translate the domain knowledge directly into their work. Also, for new data annotators, we're giving them the foundation they need to excel from day one. Annotators that are trained in the domain make fewer mistakes, meaning fewer cycles of correction and review. And this drastically cuts down the time from initial annotation to final approval. So an annotator that is equipped with domain knowledge can articulate queries, challenges more effectively. This means that, for example, when they reach out for assistance clarification, the resolution is swift and precise, so keeping the workflow smooth and uninterrupted. Tip number 5 is balance workloads. So at first sight, workload distribution might seem like purely administrative concern. However, its implications run deep, because an overloaded annotator is not just at risk of fatigue, but they are also more likely to make errors, which can significantly impact the quality of our data sets. So in the world of AI, even the smallest inaccuracies can lead to less reliable predictions. And also an overstretched annotator might inadvertently sacrifice precision for speed. So by ensuring that each annotator has a manageable workload, we are bolstering the accuracy and quality of the data annotations. On the other hand, we have an annotator with a balanced workload that can give each piece of data the attention it deserves. So they are more likely to catch nuances, ambiguities, and ensure that labels are accurate and consistent. So it's like a win-win situation. The annotator feels valued, less stress, and takes pride in the work, while the company benefits from high quality and reliable annotations. So at SenseRead, we've made a priority to ensure that our annotators have well-distributed tasks, and by closely monitoring our annotators' workloads, we have seen a noticeable increase in the quality of annotations, reduced error rates, and overall higher job satisfaction among our team. And also, we are cultivating a workspace that values respect and understands individual limits. So in conclusion, when we talk about boosting labeling efficiency, we cannot overlook the importance of a balanced workload. It's not just about quantity, but it's about the quality that only a well-rested, focused human mind can provide. And now, number 6. So tip number 6 is to rotate tasks. So imagine doing the same repetitive task for hours on end. Not only does it become monotonous, but the quality of work can also start to decline. And this is not a reflection of the individual's capability, but rather in the nature of repetitive tasks. So at SenseRead, we have found that rotating tasks among our annotators has multifaceted benefits. So firstly, it prevents fatigue and monotony. And continuously working on the same type of data can lead to a decline in annotation and consequently a decrease in the quality of annotations. So by introducing fresh tasks, we keep our annotators engaged and also alert. And instead of having an annotator label the same type of data for hours, they switch between different types of data, different labeling tasks, so this change can re-engage the brain, making the task feel fresh and new. And beyond just maintaining consistent quality, there is an added advantage of skill diversification. So as our annotators, they handle different types of tasks of data, they evolve, broadening their skill set. So over time, they can recognize nuances, patterns, details that might be missed by those who are limited to a single type of task. And by rotating tasks, we are doing more than just breaking the monotony. We're just crafting multi-skilled experts. And they become like adept across multiple facets of data annotation. So this rotation exposed them to a spectrum of data types, challenges, and problem-solving scenarios. Tip number 7 is to customize tabs. So I would like to focus our attention now on the very tool our annotators interact with. So this is the interface, specifically how customizing this interface can dramatically uplift the accuracy, efficiency, and overall user experience of our annotators. So we have language-based tab for reviewers. This is specially made for reviewers. So when we talk about multilingual data, ensuring accuracy becomes a challenge, especially during the review process. And this is where language-based tabs come into play. By segmenting reviews based on languages like Italian, German, Spanish, French, we can direct data sets to reviewers proficient in those specific language. So this minimizes errors, reduces back and forth, and speeds up the review process. So in essence, it ensures that the right eyes review the right data, leading to faster and more accurate outcomes. And we have a team of annotators, each with their own pace, expertise, and also availability. So how do we ensure that the work is distributed evenly? How do we track individual progress? And most importantly, how do we maintain consistency when new annotators join the team? So our answer lies in annotator-based tabs. So by creating individual tabs for each annotator, we can track how much data each annotator has processed, allowing for timely feedback, adjustments. Also, by comparing the work of different annotators, we can identify discrepancies and ensure consistency across the board. So this is especially crucial when new annotators join, as it helps them align with the existing standards. Tip number 8 is to use filters. So filters are more than just sorting tools. They are gateways to streamline workflows and optimize processes. So filters allow you to zoom in to create customized subset of data that directly addresses the problem at hand. So you can directly engage with what's relevant. And as we know, the best way to understand any concept or problem is through real-life examples. So filters let us pick out specific instances from our data to illustrate a point or a challenge. Also, as we know, annotation projects, they often evolve over time. So what was once a low priority task might suddenly become crucial. So filters in Label Studio, they provide this kind of flexibility to adapt to these shifting priorities by quickly reorganizing tasks as needed. Also, as we welcome new members into our annotation team, so there is this inherent learning curve. And with that comes the necessity for feedback, quality assurance. So filters play a pivotal role here because they enable us to allocate review resources efficiently, ensuring that tasks annotated by our newest team members, they receive prompt feedback and guidance they need. So this isn't just about ensuring data quality, it's about fostering a culture of continuous learning and improvement. Tip number 9 is my favorite one, I would say. So lean into comments. So while filters allow you to streamline and categorize our tasks, comments, they elevate our annotation quality by promoting collaboration, clarity, and continuous learning. So in our case, we've got trader chats. So they are rich in jargon, coded language, Swift exchanges. We might have questions like, what does a particular word mean in this context? Is this statement a factual representation, or it's a trader's opinion? So these are questions that might arise during the annotation process. And this is where comments come into play. So by using this feature, our annotators, they can flag this point of uncertainty, and they get tied directly to specific data points of conversations, ensuring that feedback is contextual and it's easier to act upon. So instead of glossing over challenging sections or making assumptions, they can pause, comment, and seek clarity. And this promotes, I would say, an active discussion environment where annotators, they don't work just in isolation, but they collaborate with reviewers. So they ask questions, they share insights, and such a dynamic not only improves the quality of annotations, but also boosts efficiency by reducing back and forths and potential rework. Also, it's important that comments, they also add an essential layer of traceability. Suppose down the line, there's a discrepancy or an issue with a labeled chat. So instead of navigating this challenge blindfolded, we can refer to the comments. We can understand the thought process of the annotator, and we can pinpoint where the misunderstanding might have occurred. So this traceability ensures that our annotation process isn't just about quantity, but about quality and understanding. Also, the feedback loop is facilitated by comments. So it directly impacts our guideline updates and model performance enhancements. Tip number 10, is the last one. It's to assign multiple annotations per task. So this is an essential strategy, especially when we start a new project. So when multiple labelers annotate the same conversation, they bring to the table the unique interpretations, backgrounds, understandings, so making a richer, more detailed view of the data. Also, when it comes to a new project, the guidelines, no matter how meticulously crafted, may still have areas of ambiguity. So by having a sample of conversations annotated by several team members, we can quickly identify these gray areas. And when different annotators interpret the same instruction in a different way or label a conversation segment in different way, it means that this is like a clear signal that the guidelines might need further classification or elaboration. With inter-annotator agreement, so high agreement indicates that our instructions are easy to follow, they are clear, And conversely, discrepancies can shed light on potential areas of confusion, allowing for immediate adjustments. Also, assigning multiple annotations, it works really nice when it comes to onboarding. So new joiners, they get a hands-on experience of the project's expectations, and it's not just about reading guidelines. So it's about practicing them in real time with immediate feedback. Also, I would say that having multiple annotations for the same task can act as an inbuilt quality assurance mechanism. So if one annotator misses a crucial detail or misinterprets a segment, chances are another annotator might catch it. So this kind of redundancy, it ensures that inaccuracies that are spotted and correctly early, and they are corrected early, they reduce the need for extensive reviews and corrections down the line. And also what's important about multiple annotations is that they can provide valuable insights for training models. So machine learning models, they thrive on diverse and comprehensive data. So by capturing different interpretations of the same conversation, we are feeding the model a richer data set, enhancing its training and its performance. Now I will tell you a bit about our results, so about sensory results. So this is 4-time increase in team size, and we are still growing. Recently, we've hired 5 new data annotators. So that's really exciting. And this increase in team size was made possibly by streamlined operations and increased productivity. Also, we had 150 increase in labels, so it lead to a more nuanced data classification. And we have 50% increase in the scope of our data labeling. So this expansion has allowed us to venture into broader data sets, so enhancing this kind of versatility of our models. And I believe that's it from me, Nate. So thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Daria. That was super helpful. Really appreciate you sharing your time and your expertise on these tips. It looks like we have a couple of questions that have come in during the course of your presentation. So we'll go ahead and jump into those real quick. The first question I saw is like, what are the metrics? Like, what are the metrics that you use to, well, let me just read it real quick here. Yeah. So what metrics do you use to determine the success of your labeling efforts and why?
So at Sensory, we use, of course, inter-annotator agreement. So it's a kind of really good indicator to verify whether the annotation schema is executed by our annotators, whether it is clear, and especially it is helpful at the beginning of a new project. So in the projects where annotation decisions are like more open to interpretation, inter-annotator agreement helps us to identify the most problematic cases, allowing a better discovery and understanding of our data. We also use a number of annotated conversations per day. So our objective is to keep steady pace. Quality annotations have to go hand in hand with a quantity of new data. So as our annotation projects differ in terms of complexity, a number of elements that have to be annotated, tracking the pace of dataset growth for each of team plays a substantial role in planning the project's individual timeframes and setting realistic goals. Also, we use number of positive examples found in the dataset. So it helps to decide whether the datasets, they need further programmatic filtering in order to use the team's resources as effectively and as possible. And also we use annotator review agreement. So this is an indicator of annotation quality delivered by individual annotators, and it helps to track the annotator's progress over time.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that's fantastic. And then as a follow-up question to that came in, how does your review process work?
Um, Once a task is assigned to an annotator, they go through the conversation, annotate the data based on the established guidelines, and the annotator's main job is here to identify, label the relevant part of the conversation. And for certain complex or subjective tasks, we may choose to have multiple annotators label the same conversation to increase accuracy. In this case, we can measure inter-annotator agreement to see this consistency between annotators. And then we have review and feedback. So linguists and experienced annotators, they take a look at the annotations made, they identify issues or errors and send it back for correction if needed. And with the review, feedback can be sent to the annotators. And as I mentioned today, this feedback is essential for the annotations growth and for ensuring this continuous improvement of the annotation quality. And the last step is error correction. So annotators, they can revisit the tasks after receiving the comments, correct their mistakes that are based on the feedback given, and learn from them for future tasks. So this process helps to improve the quality of the annotations and I would say overall productivity of the annotation team.
Fantastic. Great. And then here's another question that came in. What are some of the challenges that you face when it comes to data labeling? Like some of the things that can go wrong, and what are the potential impacts of those things?
So that's quite a complex question. I would say that I have a couple answers. So I think that the obvious one when it comes to sense rate is that trader conversations, they are filled with jargon, coded language, industry specific terms. So annotators, they need to be trained, experienced in these conversations, because misunderstanding these terms, it could lead to incorrect labels, impacting the quality of the data and consequently the machine learning model's performance. Also, I would say that when we have new transactions in our chat, so they might have to have updates when it comes to taxonomy used for labeling. So it can be a complex and time-consuming process, because adapting these frameworks without losing consistency with previous labeling, it can be difficult to balance, a difficult balance to strike. Also, another challenge I would say is that the meaning of a conversation, it might depend on the current market conditions or specific client-trader relationships. Therefore, labeling might require a deep understanding of the context, which can be difficult to maintain at scale. And the last challenge I would say is multilingual conversation. So there is necessity to look for annotators who not only show great text interpretation skills, but are also fluent in more than one foreign language.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So I think there's like a couple of other questions that come in via the chat, but I know that we're coming up on time. So if it's all right, we'd love to take these questions offline. Happy to respond via email. But I just wanted to say a quick thank you to everybody for attending. Thank you very much to Daria for sharing her knowledge and expertise. We really appreciate her time and willingness to share. And again, we will be sharing the recording of this here within a day or two, so that you'll have a copy to it. And if you've asked a question we didn't get a chance to get to, we will get to it offline and send you an email. But again, thanks everybody, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Nate.